Let's talk now to Yossi Mekelberg, the Associate Fellow with the Middle East and North Africa Programme at Chatham House, the think tank in London. Yossi, you're a seasoned veteran Middle East watcher. Why this delay? What's going on?
Good afternoon. I think because there is a gap between the announcement yesterday on the agreement and when it comes into effect on Sunday. These 4 days allow both sides both to try and get some changes into this agreement. They're probably quite minor. It creates this kind of space for both or either of the side to try and to jump into better positions. But it's hard to see after the announcement by the Prime Minister of Qatar and then by President Biden, President-elect Trump, that this agreement is done, that either of the side, definitely both of them, will track from that.
What do you think are the biggest stumbling blocks?
I think most of the stumbling blocks have been resolved. The question is going beyond what they already agreed. So there are some technicalities, for instance, in terms of who is released first, when it comes to the hostages or when it comes to the prisoners. What prisoners, Palestinian prisoners, are going to be released? At what stage Israel will withdraw from the Philadelphia or the Netzarim corridor? So there are more about the time scale and how it's going to happen, the technicalities, than the principles of this.
How do you think the next few days look?
I think, unfortunately, both sides will try to prove to each other they still have enough capability to help each other. And this is, creating these 4 days, probably the need for logistics, for instance, for the Israeli cabinet to approve, to ensure that there is a possibility to release the prisoners. So fit each other is the still that they are still standing by the end of this war.
You sound optimistic. I mean, is there a chance that this deal might break down?
There is always the possibility that something major is going to derail it. It's not about being optimistic. It's mainly about being kind of cautiously optimistic or look at the situation. Had you asked me a few weeks ago, I was agreeing. At this point, I think that, and also the announcement by the mediator, in case that either of the side decide to actually violate what they already agreed, they know there are going to be consequences from the international community. So it's very hard to see that it happened. But it's not beyond the realm of possibility that either of the side could provoke each other to do something that will derail the agreement.
Yossi, I'm sure we'll talk again in the coming days. For the moment, thank you. Yossi Mekelberg from Chatham House in London.